back to plague. Eternal darkness.
A war to end all wars.
The War to End All Wars redefined how mankind looked at war and the value of human life. Over 19,000 men lost their lives every day in the trenches of the Somme. Some say uselessly, some invoke a higher cause. I read accounts of the slaughter from many journalists who spent time in the trenches, but I found the account of a certain Peter Jacob to be the most horrible of all. His implication about the ancients' involvement with the war was hideous and so obvious. With the horror of the Battle of the Somme scant miles away and the distant echoes of pounding artillery, a young journalist named Peter Jacob researched his latest story from the front lines.
This looks like the church.
Brought him to Oublier Cathedral, now transformed into a field hospital.
Why do we keep going back to this place? It's a Craigbune. It's got evil monks.
Behind all the senseless violence that surrounds me. Young men die at a rate unheard of in centuries of warfare. Shelling, machine guns, cluster gas, ripped pupils, burned flesh. Men silk gauze on new wounds or stretched in serious gas. The hospitals you cannot go are the torrent of wood.
Ah, just right off the bat, an explosion. Soldiers let Eliza on the table, waiting to be sent home. I'll be taking that. Let's see what it says. From Private Reynold Jackson to his love Margaret, I was admitted to the hospital on Tuesday. The damage caused to my leg was slight, but there's no way that I could ever walk normally again. I hate this place. Every day I'm reminded that I'll never be able to do the things I love. The hospital is a very strange place. Converted from an old cathedral, there is an odd atmosphere around it. Silent, but for the words of the wounded calling out in the night. There's no doubt it is haunted. What I find most odd in this place is that you never see anyone leave during the day. It's not right. No goodbyes, or farewells. Just an empty bed when you wake. I have a flash pan. Check. A photographer's flash pan used to hold the combustion powder when ignited to create this large white flash can be used to stun some enemies and then use flash powder. And I have a lucky penny. An old coin marked in a peculiar manner is sentimental value for someone. Whoever holds this penny has undoubtedly received good fortune. That's really weird. That's nice though. It's a nice little touch that your character would have things. Not particularly what you might need, but something that your character himself would like hold of. A guard stands quietly, but strongly points out this area is off limits to civilians. The guard frowns and ushers Peter away from the organ. He explains it's one of the few antiques in the region that so far survived the war, and while he's alive, it will remain intact. That is a 6-point star. Examine. Detail. An odd collection of coloured lines decorates the wall. Below the design stops. Appears to lead up to the wall, going nowhere. It's quite clear that I'm going to need the Tome of Eternal Darkness and another circle thing to be able to do that, but it does appear like we've almost finished collecting everything we need to collect, and soon it'll just be everything else. Hello. So, abruptly the tower asks Peter if clearance for the old tower is a restricted area. This whole atmosphere, you can hear a war going on, and you know there's something else going on in here. Silicon Knights. What has Silicon Knights made, also? I'm trying to think what else they've made. Is in games. Oh, you guys are all over the place. Guard shifts about. Obviously, Border is due to rating replacement, or perhaps a call to arms. I wouldn't. Not in the war. It was senseless. Talk. With a motherly voice, the nurse advises Peter to get some rest. Stacked deeply on the landing, crates of medical supplies await use. Syringes of morphine, bandages, trophins, antiseptics, the list goes on and on. This feels so, you know, there's a letter there. You going? Soldier's letter on top of medical supplies. Let's read this one. A letter from Private Reynold Jackson to his love Margaret. The second letter of the series. I've been here for over a week now, and there is no word for when I am allowed to leave. Strange things have happened. At night the sounds of the hospital change. Echoes of voices that don't belong to anyone haunt the walls and corridors. The restless ghost perhaps, or the sound of movement and whispers. I've seen the war firsthand, and the sounds of the night in the hospital scare me more than I ever thought possible. What is going on here at night? Oh dear. Whoops. What is going on here at night? Why do I feel so frightened? My fears are worsened by the talk of the other young soldiers. One said he heard cries for help in the middle of the night, cries that were only answered by snarls of rage, and not compassion. Another said Lance Corporal Hagsky has not been discharged but has gone missing. I stare at his empty bed with a sense of unholy dread gnawing at my heart. If none of these letters were ever delivered, if I can find them. My sanity meter is not low, so... yeah, it's just, you know... I probably will beat this today. Then it'll just be off my mind. No longer have to go back to the creepy game. I'm enjoying it though. It's a nice... I mean, well, fun isn't a word. Terrifying is what you want. But it's not so scary. It's like, ah, no, I don't want to play it anymore. There's a mystery. I want to figure out what's going on. But there is horror around. The war being so close and a curfew has been imposed. Travelling outside the hospital is not a safe thing to do, since intruders are most likely to be shot on sight. Peter decides to remain inside. There's always a reason why you don't leave. There's always a door, but there's always a reason. It's really dark there. God. The faint sounds of moaning emanate from the linen veils, whisper utterance, frantic prayers to loved ones, words offered only by those who face their morality. Same thing. Covered with blood-stained sheets, these poor souls have passed from this world. For them, the suffering is over, but around them, the ordeal continues. Yep, same thing. Do. No. Where can I go then? Everywhere else seems to be cordoned off to me. Altar is clear of valuables, not only to prevent looting, but to afford space for medical supplies, even as an operating table may the need arise. Oh, there's another one. A sealed envelope seems to have been left behind. see what's in there. Check. Open the envelope. Soldier's orders. Oh. Oh, I know what I might need this for. The official note on army evacuation status saying, Private Thompson, by order of Lieutenant Hargraves, on behalf of the HRH, George the Fifth, you are to leave your post of duty and rally on the streets outside the Uruguay Cathedral. Further orders will be pressed at a rallying point. God save the King. King George the Fifth was the one who had the stutter because his brother decided to go get married to someone who had been divorced, and it was clearly frowned upon. So they were like, you can have your wife or you can have kinghood, and he literally just stepped down, which I think is really good, but I believe that's the correct king I'm referring to. The guard unfolds the orders and begins to read before explaining, well, lad, you must be on the offensive. Before following the orders, he takes leave of his post. See, that wasn't so hard to figure out, and now we go this way. Can I pick up some from... Oh... Las Victorias Annons. As annons, I persevere. Les menaces. Les observations. La subsistance. Vos lumines hidors. Designed to muster the patriotic feeling, these posters declare that the Allies are fighting a good fight. It's small comfort for the occupants of the room who spent cautious lines. Cold floor. A revolver lies abandoned on the nearby pew. Should Peter take it up? Sounds like we were just struck. Another one died at the hands of the Tome of Darkness. Cradled in what appears to be a leathery hand lies a mysterious book. It's bound in human skin, intricately decorated with shrunken bones. It beckons, it yearns to be possessed. Should Peter claim the Tome of Eternal Darkness? The fate of those who claim the Tome of Eternal Darkness are surely to die. Wait, if I can still cast magic, why don't I cast this? 5.1. See, I have a revolver, right? It has 6 ammo. I'm not going to be using that. If I can run past things, I will run past them. Might lower my sanity a whole bunch, but what am I going to do to that? There is a gun on this table, I must take it. A rifle lies in the altar discarded by fleeing guards. Yoink. Found some rifle ammo. Is it just me or is this corridor completely fake? Yeah, because I'm not picking up ammo. See, I knew it was lying to me. I'd like a melee weapon. I'd also like my sanity back, but I'm not going to do that right now because to me it feels best to just leg it, just ignore the things until I get some form of examine. Desk kept maliciously clean. Peter is surprised that it is not more chaotic for a frontlines hospital. After all, isn't this where death certificates are written? Not at this church, friend. And for that we will save and end this part.